Yep, this bubbler is hitting. Boost is hitting. Uh, 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 ah, ah, we out here. I assume we are live. I guess I could check our social medias. Oh, I guess I tagged us, but I don't have us streaming on it, and that is my fault. And I can't fix it now. I don't think. Hmm. Oh well, shoot. I tagged us, so let's see if that worked. Yeah, because I think it's so shite. I told myself, let's fix this before we do all of this. In order to do this, I'd have to end the whole show. That's dumb of me. Oh well. I'll post it on our feed immediately. It'll just go live straight to there, and we're on YouTube. Hi YouTube. We're just.
What's up, YouTube?
I just forgot all about our old account getting shut down, and I haven't remembered which all apps I've updated.
Oh, and which
New
ones you
account.
haven't?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my fault. And I said it before my nap. I was like, before my nap, before I go to sleep, this was one of the things I needed to do. I knocked out most of the things. That was one of the things that slipped. All right, I be slipping up. But hi, I'm Crunk Chocolate. This is Tom Bomb.
What's up?
This is all in. I'll let you take over.
Yeah, this is all in. We are Shades of Blue representing for the Women's World Cup, the
Hey,
biggest tournament
hey,
in the world right now for 2023. Make sure
let's
that
go.
you are aware. Yeah, I had a conversation with my dad today, and he was like, I didn't know that the matches had even started. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah. It's like, oh gosh, like we got to work on this. So I think what I want to do is just kind of breeze through the results of each group, and after the end of each group, we can kind of see what favorite match moment or match or what we see going forward for the group in match day 2. So in group A, right off the bat, we had a stunner. New Zealand upset Norway 1-0. New Zealand has those 3 points. And in the other match, the Philippines went down to Switzerland 2-0. So that puts the group with Switzerland in first on goal difference, New Zealand in second, Norway in third, and the Philippines in fourth. I don't think that you can really talk about this group other than to say that Norway has not fixed their defense since the Euro 2022, and a new coach is apparently not helping, even if she is from Norway's golden generation. Um,
They played like thugs. They were very physical, lots of legs flailing in, very much focused on the defense and not necessarily even scoring at moments. I don't know. It was a bummer.
and even then, their defense wasn't that great. Like that was what made it so frustrating. And I think that Higarise just did recently just say that neither Carolyn Graham Hansen nor who started at the 6 for them. Let's see. Uh, Nor is Ingrid Angen of Barcelona going to play in the next match. Rumor is that Carolyn Graham Hansen is ill with an undisclosed illness,
Mm.
but I'm not going to report that necessarily because I haven't read that from a reporter, but I've heard that rumor. And it looks like I believe that word on the street is that Engen said something about Hige Rise in a press conference, and she was shown the bench immediately.
Mm.
So, good times in Woso. Oh boy, but like I really do think that New Zealand has set themselves up in a good position. They do play the
Mhm.
Philippines next.
Yep.
If they can go ahead and get those 3 points from the Philippines and get 6 points, what it doesn't really matter what they do against Switzerland in the last match. I think that they just have a good progression going on with that. I did not think that New Zealand was going to lean into the home crowd the way that they did, but I heard that you could really hear it on the Peacock stream, like the
Yeah,
intensity of the home crowd.
yeah, for sure. I was watching. I've been using Peacock and Telemundo the entire time. It's been fantastic watching everybody on Twitter complain about what Fox is saying and the things that happen on there. I wasn't experiencing any of that because I was just hearing fantastic Espanol. I mean, I didn't really understand most of what was happening, but that was great. And I don't think that New Zealand necessarily, obviously, getting a win would help in playing the Philippines, who lost by 2 to Switzerland. That helps. But because Nigeria and Canada didn't win, and they have the goal, they could probably struggle out a couple of draws. Obviously, with them being the home crowd or the host team, they want to win by as much as possible. But I'm kind of worried they might be almost focused on that, and they might come a little flat and just focused on trying to not lose in these next couple of matches.
That's a really good point. That's a really good one. What's up, Sharpie?
Hooray!
What's happening? So let's go ahead and move on to Group B. Group B had some interesting results. In Australia did beat Ireland in the second match of MatchDay 1. They beat them 1-0 on a penalty that Steph Catley took beautifully. And actually, old friend alert, Haley Rasso drew in the box. And then Canada Nigeria might have played to the most interesting 0-0 draw I have ever seen in my entire life. Like, that match had everything. It had a penalty, had a penalty save, had a red card. Just, it had it all. Like, that match to me, that was probably one of the more entertaining matches of the tournament so far. And even though there were no goals scored in the match, like, I was extremely entertained, like, from minute 1 to minute 90 plus. Like, it was an intense match. You could tell that both teams really wanted it. You could also, like, I didn't necessarily find it interesting that Nigeria struggled to score, just because I knew that Canada's defense was so sound. I did find it interesting that Canada had problems scoring against Nigeria's Nigeria's defense is not necessarily the strong suit of their team, but the fact that they were able to still get a result out of this particular match was pretty impressive. I do think that Australia is, even without Sam Kerr, which was like big news, like as we were recording our last show, even without Sam Kerr for this particular for their next match against Nigeria, I still think that they're set up pretty well in this group. They just need to make sure that they get 2 results going forward. I am worried about Canada because I'm not sure that they can score, and I'm not sure that Ireland is the team that fixes that woe. Because I mean, we saw how physical Ireland was. Australia did not score necessarily from the run of play. That was a highly competitive match. I'm concerned about Canada's ability to score in their next match. I do think that Australia has put themselves in a good position for this particular group. I will be interested to see if Mary Fowler again gets the start for Australia in place of Sam Kerr, or if they are able to do something different, switch something up, and maybe just make Caitlin Ford be the focal point and have Mary Fowler run underneath her. We did see a lot of Haley Rasso getting up into the attack for them. I would be interested to see Courtney Vine start a match for Australia, simply because she's so damn fast. Like, and I don't know that I'm not sure that Nigeria's defense is necessarily ready for that pace. But I mean, they do play in CAF, so we shall see. So moving on to groups.
If I could say one more thing about Australia, because I played rugby growing up so much, and Australia, their rugby team is so talented. The women play very similarly to the way that the men, at least I watch more of the men's rugby, the way that they play, which is they let their athleticism kind of work for them. throw the ball into open space. They have their people and they're just athletic. They run very pacey. They have no problem pushing people off of them even when they're on the ball. It's real fun to watch, very entertaining. They never seem to stop coming at you, and watching them and Haley Rasso just constantly get knocked down and just popping back up. It was called Australia Pace and Power FC Sharpie. Yeah, I mean,
I mean, he's not like in a lot of ways he's not really wrong. Like they do like they defend really well from the back, and they do want to hit you on the counter, um, and like they are not afraid to go into a challenge or shy away from a challenge that is coming to them. Um, they really do play that way, which is kind of weird to think about. But like if you do think about the lineage of Tony Gustafson, like the fact that he was an assistant under Jill Ellis, like, and you remember how physical those Jill Ellis teams were, it
mm,
does kind of make sense in a way for the United States. So we're going to move on to Group C. Group C might have had maybe the most comprehensive performance, with Japan absolutely dismantling Zambia 5-0. And then Spain beat Costa Rica 3-0. For me, in this particular group, this story was all about Japan and how great they looked. Zambia is not a punk team. Like Zambia won WAF Con. They are the African champions. Both of those felt racist in a small way. Charlie, you're killing me. To me, the story is all about Japan. They really went out and dominated Zambia, and Zambia is not a punk team. And Zambia had Barbara Banda, and they'd like been in good form. They had beaten Germany, like I would say rather convincingly, because like Germany did have to come back to equalize that match, and then Zambia scored basically on the last kick of the game in stoppage time. I think that this next match Japan has against Costa Rica, I expect a similar scoreline and result. Like I don't think that I think that Japan's performance was one of the top three performances of any team in this World Cup so far, and I think that the Spain Zambia game could go one of two ways, and it's only going to go one of two ways. Either Zambia figures out how to disrupt Spain's timing and press them enough that they can get those balls out of the midfield and hit Barbara Branda on the break, and this becomes a real up and down match the whole match, or Spain completely dominates chances, possession, and chances, and
mm.
they're clinical and puts those chances away.
And that's
I'm
what
also
learned
kind
is
of
going to happen.
yeah, I'm concerned about Costa Rica's depth of squad. Simply like they didn't bring Shirley Cruz again. That's their like talisman. Like she had been their captain forever. I'm not sure that they have enough. Like because eventually these teams are going to have to rotate. Like you can't like
Yes,
just keep on running those same lineups out in the tournament. That's madness. You cannot do that in a tournament format. So there has to be some sort of squad rotation, and Spain's squad is just deeper than Costa Rica's. I or excuse me, Spain's squad is deeper than Zambia's. Excuse me. I'm worried that Costa Rica is going to have to rotate against Japan, and I don't know how good their rotation necessarily is going to look going forward. So I do expect a large scoreline for Japan against Costa Rica. That Spain Zambia game, I think that could either be an ass kicking by Spain, or it can be it can just be one of the most entertaining matches of the tournament. Honestly,
yeah.
like
I mean,
so,
Zambia, they're going to have to turn it up because they got smoked in
yeah,
the last match, that goal
yeah.
difference.
But
So,
I mean, but a result will help them immensely. Just even
true,
if it's 1-1, like and they just get that point. Depending on how Costa Rica goes, like that helps them a lot. So
true, very true.
they they got to play for that. So we're going to move on to Group D. These two particular results in this group, We had England over Haiti
Mm.
on a Georgia Stanway penalty that was taken twice. And then we had Denmark over China 1-0 on basically at the death. Vansgaard scored. I was actually pleasantly surprised by how well China played.
Yeah.
Um, it they to me they had the majority of the chances. They looked much stronger in possession. Um, like even though they only had 44% of the ball, I just felt like they had their foot um, on the ball more than in dangerous areas than Denmark did. Denmark had more of the possession, but China had more of the possession in dangerous areas to me.
Yes.
Um, and then I do not think that England was ready for Haiti. I don't think that. I'm not going to say that they necessarily underestimated Haiti because I think that they know how good Melchi Dumornay is. Um, I am not sure if they have figured out. Um, I'm not sure if they've completely figured out their defense. Like I think Kira Walsh helps them a lot because she just shields them.
Hmm.
But when when they played a team on the break like Haiti, like Melchi Dumornay did have a couple of chances that were like, ooh, so I am concerned about I'm concerned about their defense. I'm also concerned about them being clinical.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that Serena Vegman did start Alicia Russo, and I feel like they did have quite a few chances, but
Yes.
they just did not convert. And like what I found interesting, especially since like Serena started both of the Man City wingers. She started both Chloe Kelly and Lauren Hemp, which
Hmm.
doesn't necessarily not make sense, especially like given their recent form in international. Like Chloe Kelly was the Arnold Palmer or Arnold Clark, excuse me, um, Cup Golden Boot winner. So that doesn't necessarily surprise me. And um, oh, now Charlie is hitting on a good point. I think that Lauren James should start, but I think that she should start in the midfield. I think you could see how much they were missing Fran Kirby. I think that Lauren James is a different type of playmaker, but I think that she still is the playmaker that England needs right now. You can really tell that Fran Kirby's is missed right now. So
What I
I
Oh,
personally like, and I
sorry,
think
you go
Beth Mead
first.
would start too.
Um, I was just going to speak
Oh,
specifically
Sharpie,
Oh no, I was just going to say what I saw just specifically from that Haiti match, and I mean, I don't watch England too much, and I don't know how much they play, but the way that they're built, they're built to stop any like set pieces. They were bigger, but they weren't
mhm.
necessarily more athletic in the back, and Chloe Kelly and Lauren Hemp, they are wingers. They're more of the attacking type. They're not much to support defensively. And Haiti kind of had them pinned back for a while. And Lauren Hemp struggled big time because she wasn't really able to run like she wants to. She had to help out because uh, Duvernay was doing her thing. And it was just tough. They didn't look great, like you were saying. And then
Mhm.
Tune over Tune or Georgia. And
That's Sharpie. That's a really good question, and I think this is going to sound counterintuitive, but I think that the answer is Georgia because I think that Georgia is an 8 that likes to masquerade as a 10. So that means that she like if you remember the Euros, there was a lot of dirty work that Fran Kirby had to do, um, that like your normal 8 would do. That Fran Kirby was doing as the 10. I think that I would have Toon or Coombs maybe even be my box to box, and then have Lauren James be my creating playmaker. I really do think that, and I think that Coombs actually might be the answer to play with Lauren James in the midfield. I think that that would probably balance each other out and allow Coombs to get box to box and help out Kira Walsh, while also getting into the attack periodically with Lauren James, and linking up with the our wingers and Alicia Russo or Rachel Daly up top. I just really thought like it was very interesting that Alicia Russo finally got the start and she just couldn't get that goal. So that was kind of a bummer, especially since I had picked them to win this tournament, which I'm not feeling great about. Not gonna lie, not feeling great about that prediction at all. Am I gonna back off of it? No, no, because I made it and I said it. I said what I said. Blah 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 blah. But like, not feeling great about that at all. All right, let's move on to Group E.
Yeah.
In Group E, we had the USA over Vietnam 3-0, and we had the Netherlands over Portugal
Mhm.
1-0. Um, uh, so I was actually, I think my takeaway from these two matches is I was impressed by the solidity of the Netherlands defense.
Yeah.
Like after they scored their goal, they really just sat back and just said, "Okay, Portugal, like just you,
That was
yes,
my exact
do
note.
do your thing, just
Yeah.
do your thing." Like I
Uh-huh.
mean, because you're not gonna get like you're gonna try those shots, you're gonna try those tricks, and like we're
Uh-huh.
just we're equal to them.
They were fun to watch, Portugal, but that was it.
Yeah, I mean, Portugal might be like outside of Brazil, Portugal might be the most entertaining team in this country, and I think it's, or excuse me, in this tournament, and I think it's interesting that both of those nations both speak Portuguese. Um, and then let's see, we have the United States over Vietnam 3-0. So Sophia Smith was really the story to me. Like she was the United States best player
Mhm.
in this particular roster based off of current form. I am going to say that's right, Big Soph, not the little one. Um, I am going to say this now. Sophia Smith is the best striker for the U.S. right now.
Oh.
I will lead you by saying the alternative is to start someone that you have started who hasn't necessarily been in form for club,
Mhm.
whose golden boot race last year in the league was based off of multiple penalties,
Oh.
whose penalty was saved
Oh.
and rebounded directly to the penalty taker, and that was subsequently saved as well.
Ah, my ankle. My ankle.
she didn't have any choice but to pull up lame on that one
My
because
ankle.
yeah, that was no good at all.
Oh.
I It's very interesting that Julie Ertz is playing center back since we brought her in to be the six of this team. I know that like literally out of retirement for 2 years to play defensive midfield, and she is playing center back like she did in college and the 2015 World Cup, which is wild to think about.
Hey, but
Uh,
she's out there knocking people around. I mean, obviously Vietnam, they're a smaller squad, but she was out there just throwing that body around. I definitely noticed that. I was like, goodness gracious. And also the way that the social media and media overall were pushing Haran. That was kind of annoying when Sophie was obviously cooking, and they're just like, Lindsay Haran, though. And it's just like, what are you talking about?
oh gosh, I worry about Lindsey Horan's long-term health. Like, we know that Vladko has a tendency to run players into the ground, and it
Mhm.
looks like she might be the next candidate. And like, I don't think that that's good for the squad as a whole. I'm hoping you saw a lot of substitutions in this next match or in this last match. The USA Netherlands, that is going to be the marquee matchup in this particular group. We knew that from when the draw was announced. Um, I really do think that we probably do run out a lot of the same lineup. I would be in. I This should be the match that Lindsay Horan sits, because this should be the match that Naomi Girma and Alana Cook start together, because Alana Cook is world class, as her manager Laura Harvey says. She is world class. Um, and regardless of what any Canadian pundit might have to say about that. Um, but I think that Julie Johnson or Julie Ertz needs to start at the 6. I think that this is the match that I like DeMello. I like the way that she played. But if Rose is 60 minutes fit, Rose needs to start. So I think Rose in the midfield. Uh, Sullivan is the 8. Yes, Pale Picasso time. That's right. I would start Sophia Smith up top. I would start Trinity Rodman on the right, and then I would start Lynn on the left. I think that this is the match for Lynn Williams. I think that Lynn Williams is kind of Vlatko's ace in the hole. I do want to get to Sharpie's question. Wouldn't you say Rodman and Smith's link up with Morgan is enough to keep Morgan as a starter? I wouldn't, because I think that, one, you have to put your best striker up top. Like you have to put them in, and you have to play them there. Sophia Smith is the best striker for this club. Mm-hmm. I think that Rodman's gonna ball regardless of who's the 9. She's gonna find a way. And then Lynn does so much defensive work to cover. So if you decide that you are gonna play Emily Fox at left back as she belongs, or you decide that you're going to play Sofia Huerta at right back, you just have cover. I just think that this is the match that you do want to have a little bit of cover, just because that Bjornstein has been in form coming with her season with Juventus. She also has scored a lot of international goals for the Netherlands. So I think that that is going to be my dream lineup for the U.S. Now, what Vlatko chooses to do is something totally different. And it was really cool. First of all, shout out to Shea Butter FC. Thank you so much for having us on for the watch along for France, Jamaica, which we'll get to in a little bit. That was so much fun. It was so cool to connect with Bree, and the Players Network. That was very, very cool. And it was very interesting to get a perspective from a player who has been coached by Vlatko. Also, shout out old school FCKC. Gotta love that. Go Blue.
I have only 2 more things to add, and is it really adding? Because it's just me vibes. Can we embrace the whole world of football part with Pele Picasso and call her the Pele Picasso? And it's a little link, the Pele Picasso. And then the U.S. women, they are, how we are. She's not that nice. Okay, well, maybe she could earn it then. And the U.S. women, truly, I don't really rock red, white, and blue, and I'm always just like, meh. But whenever the U.S. women start playing, the vibes. I salute to the United States, and this is the anthem that should be playing, and I guarantee you everybody in the U.S. would be putting all of that stuff up. And I know that I'm not saying, I'm technically saying Pele, but it's like a pun on words to make it seem like Pele. But I do understand that would very much anger people, because it would be sound too much like Pele.
Yes,
I was doing too much. The words. That's all I had to add. And was it adding anything?
Oh, also, we are not in the year of our Lord 2023 going to talk about players singing the Star-Spangled Banner when it is played. I refuse. I'm not going to talk about that. And we're going to move on to Group F. We're going to move immediately on to Group F.
Absolutely.
So in Group F, we had Brazil with I think what was one of the most comprehensive
Mm.
performances of this particular tournament. 4-0 over Panama. Um, Ari Borges had a hat trick. Her last goal for that hat trick, the header between the keeper's legs. Oh, that was nasty. That was
Yes,
just
yes,
rude.
just
That
boosh.
was
Yeah,
that was so rude and nasty.
very.
But like, I mean,
And
kudos
then
kudos to Ari Borges for that. Like, gotta love that.
and then they
Go
just
ahead.
danced for like 30 seconds. It's just like,
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that Brazil is probably the for sure the most good vibey team in this tournament.
yes,
Like,
1,000%.
so, and you saw it in their play on the pitch, and you definitely saw it when Marta was substituted on for Ari
Mm.
Borges. Like, just massive good vibes, like just a party, good times. And then in the other match, which we got to watch, which we mentioned earlier, it was also another entertaining 0-0 draw
Yeah.
between France and Jamaica. Bunny Shaw received a red card for 2 yellows. Also, apparently, Wendy Renard has an apparent calf strain, and was the calf strain on that fall? Did she strain her calf on that fall?
She hurt herself selling the fall. A bunch
Yeah,
of nonsense.
basically, and like that was a little. I know that they cannot appeal. You wish that they would be able to
I know.
appeal Bunny's red cards, but oh no, they're on strike. The Sharpie, they're on strike. So
I know whatever the French are the French versions of all that. Are they on strike too?
right,
They're
yeah.
definitely.
What
I
it
do
still
think they're adding to it. I feel like
yeah
maybe she's gonna come on limping, and they'll talk about how she's powering through. But
through
Bunny,
yeah.
she on her Instagram, she's like, I got pictures, honey, and I'm gonna share every single one
It was like
of me just getting pulled down and dragged and studs in my ankles.
yeah, and like she should because
Yes,
like she was ugh.
that's awful.
It was not what yeah it was not off. Also like it was interesting to me like towards the end of the match, like you could tell that France had kind of found a rhythm a little bit, but like they still like their entry pass into the final third just wasn't there. And like I'm not sure if like again like Herve Renard has been the manager for 3-4 months, maybe like tops. So it's just really difficult to actually get a team together. But I do think that France is in trouble against Brazil. Like I think Brazil saw this match and was like, oh yeah, we got
Food,
this.
food.
Yes,
and,
food.
and also
Um,
I do want to go back to obviously. I mean, he's on the other coast, but you can tell Mans was Hollywood because he didn't just say is Renard part of SAG. He got SAG after. Like he's got both
like
parts. Like
Aftra.
he knows both parts. He's like respect to the whole industry. Hollywood over here. I see you.
Yeah, I think that France is in trouble against um, against Brazil. Uh, um, I also think that
I can't tell if that's me or him. Oh, it's him. I was like, oh no, what's happening? Am I freezing? Is he freezing? Technical difficulties, people. Do 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 do. Oh man, that Colombia Korea match. Colombia, they started off pretty slow. And I thought Korea was going to end up running away with it. Colombia, they kind of just bow, bow. And then the match, Colombia just started basically just holding on to the ball. And Korea
Right. So we're
turned
gonna
it
move on to
into
Group
a
G.
little turned into a girl fight at the end though.
Sweden found a way to come back against South Africa after Banyana had scored early first.
My heart.
Sweden came back, scoring 2 goals. The last one basically at the death, which they had really, really earned after a dominant second half performance. But like their first half was kind of they didn't have really any ideas, and it was interesting to see them struggle. But I guess if and then in the other match of the group, excuse me, let's see, it was Italy 1-0 over Argentina. Italy also scored their game winner late. That match seemed to be a stalemate for most of the match, and I did not see a goal coming. The goal kind of came out of nowhere to me. I don't feel great about any of the teams in this particular group. I guess that you would have to say that you feel most confident in Sweden, just because they did face adversity
I
and
don't know.
fought
You
back
didn't
and
sound
did get
very
the three
confident saying
points.
that. You did not sound the
Yay.
most confident.
Um, Italy, Argentina, they really did not inspire me. Like I guess it was interesting to see Argentina's defense look so solid, but like again, I'm not too sold on Italy's attack personally. Um, I don't know. Let's see. We have Sweden playing Italy next, so the winners of the group play each other. I really do expect South Africa to get a result, a big or not a big result, but I do expect them to get 3 points off of Argentina. But I do think that that should be a good match and very competitive. Um, Italy, Sweden, that might decide the group right now. I will be interested to see what if in like I do think that some of uh, the changes that Sweden made in the second half that did position them well. I am concerned about Sweden's age. They are the oldest team in this tournament,
Mm.
so you hope that they can do something a little different. Uh, also, I don't. I don't know. I just don't feel good about anybody in this group.
No.
So let's
Uh,
move on to the last group, which literally just concluded the last match within the time of you seeing us on your internets.
Colombia.
So in the first match of this group, Germany, Germany put up a big number against Morocco,
Yeah, they did.
and they won 6-0. And then Colombia, they just beat South Korea 2-0. Shout out to Linda Caicedo. She is that girl.
The truth.
Second youngest player ever to score in the World Cup. She's just that effing good.
That's
Again,
crazy.
third World Cup in 2 years. And like she is really like sussed it up. Um, I am interested to see what Germany has against Colombia. Um, I think that if Lena Oberdorf comes back for that match, if she is healthy, Germany wins this no brainer. Everybody knows that, right?
Hmm.
If she is not, I do think that Colombia has a shot because I do think that they've shown their an offensive prowess against a team that like is usually very well organized in South Korea. That's basically what you and they play a little bit more physical than you would think that they do. But you obviously Colombia doesn't have a problem with that. Ask Ireland.
Hmm.
um, so yeah. I think in the other match, I think that Morocco kind of has to go for it a little bit. I don't think that I think that they had a few chances against Germany. I don't think that Germany was able to completely shut them down. The score sheet might say that, but I do think that Morocco was able to look dangerous. If they want to advance, they are going to have to like make up something like of that goal difference because they have the largest goal difference in the tournament, right?
Yeah,
Or
it's gonna be tough.
negative goal difference in the tournament right now, and that's not looking good for them. That's not a good move. Um, uh, I don't know what to think about South Korea. I was expecting Colombia to win, but I wasn't expecting them to look this comprehensively impressive.
Mm,
Um, so I'm really interested to see how they're gonna work all of that out. Um, Germany seems to be in the catbird seat for this particular group, but I do think that Colombia can give them a run for their money. Um, Yeah, I think that match day 2 is going to start literally in 48 minutes.
yeah.
We're going to have, excuse me, uh, oh God. Ah. New Zealand's going to take on the Philippines. I think that they should feel good about that match.
That
But it
matchup.
is also a regional match. So even though there might be a lot of like, obviously New Zealand's going to get a lot of home support, but I think that lots of Filipinas fans they're going to travel, and I think that they're going to also make their voice heard as well. So we hope that everybody tunes in for match day 2.
Mhm.
We hope that we're glad that you joined us for this little recap of match day 1.
Hey,
Um, Enjoy the matches. Tell everyone that they're going on. Like apparently the people don't know.
share
Tell
the word.
everybody. We love
Everybody.
y'all.
Yes.
Come back.
See you soon.
Bye.